Every great leader you admire, no matter how much success they show, has something they're still working through. Something real, something unresolved, something that others miss. Today, we're not chasing the polished version of who they are. We're going to get real about what's unfinished, the questions, the struggles, the breakthroughs behind closed doors. I'm Rocky Garza. I've spent over a decade coaching and advising some of the most successful leaders in life and business. And today, we're sitting down with Darren Palmer to uncover the truth behind leadership you rarely see. We're not talking about the version of them you already know. We're talking about the version they don't always show. So let me ask you this, because it's a question I ask executives a lot.
Okay.
I'm curious about your answer.
Okay.
What makes you great?
Ooh, I would say what makes me great, I know exactly what it is. What makes me great is I am resilient. I'm not going to stop. And I think that is the strength that God has placed in me, that my faith, and that gives me resilience because of my faith. Because regardless, I really do have faith and believe that all things work together for my good, because I love him, called according to his purpose. And I think so many people, it's like the 3 feet from goal. Life, like they say, this is not proper English, I know, coming from the publisher, but life be lifing.
Man, that's proper. I'm gonna take that as that's proper English.
Exactly. Life be lifing. But those who really win is not because trials and tribulations are going to be a part of life.
Sure.
But I think some of us have bought into a falsehood that if I'm a good person, if I mean well, that I'm not going to go through anything. Or if I go through anything, that means that it's something wrong with me. And we're in a fallen world. So if I don't understand that I'm meant to be, how can I be more than a conqueror if I'm never conquering anything? How can I be an overcomer if I'm not overcoming anything? And so Psalm 91 is one of the scriptures that I love the most, and even Psalm 112. It's sharing with us that the understanding that you're going to have things that you're going to have to overcome. So when you start realizing, like, the choose your hard concept that everybody talking about, like when you realize, like, hey, it's going to be there regardless.
Right.
I'm in a fight regardless. It's too late when you've been punched to say, why are you punching me? I don't want to fight. Bro, you already in a fight. You got to at least swing to give yourself a chance, because the person is not going to stop fighting. And that's how life is. And
what do you think has prevented people? Let me back up. We're not worried about people. We're worried about you.
Yeah.
In the moments where you have experienced potentially the fight, and we were a little late to the game to recognize we should fight back, right? That doesn't take away your resilience. It doesn't take away it doesn't take away anything you just said about you.
Exactly.
But we all know that that's not, for any of us, that's never 100% always all the time.
No.
So what is the mechanism for you when maybe you've been a little late to recognize you should stand back up and throw the proverbial swing?
And let me make this. It's not saying that I'm a Superman. So I love that question as a follow-up. What I'm saying about resilience is going back to what you just brought up, and I'm going to share the takeaways here, is having clarity to be able to see and observe. You can have doubt in your head, just don't allow it to go to your heart. So with myself, speaking of myself, it's not that I don't have fears that come upon me. It's not that I'm like everybody else, like, man, I've been punched in the stomach, or man, it knocked the air out of me. Like, oh my God, like, what is happening here? You know, it's not that I'm not in moments where I'm thinking like, oh God, like, I'm going to get out of this time. Like, what is, it's not that if you don't have somebody quit on you, or that you don't have a situation where things are not going right with your spouse, or am I doing the right thing as a father, things like that, business, like, dang, man, I took a big loss today on this. Like, oh man, this stinks. Like, or I had to let staff go. Or what am I, or I made a wrong move financially, or I got to start over into something. Like, man, I wish this wouldn't be this way. So nobody saw a pandemic coming either. And so when I look at moments like that, my process is, number one, I have to make sure that this is just my process. So when I'm going through challenges or face like that, I make sure that I'm intentional on these areas. Number one, I'm controlling my thoughts. So what are my thoughts for me? Because I'm a believer, not perfect, but I'm a believer. And so my thing is thought. So I got to make sure that this is a trained and a disciplined behavior. So I go, number one, thoughts. If I control my thoughts, and I need to think thoughts that are aligned with God's promises for my life, then I got to make sure number two is to control my tongue. I need to make sure that whatever I'm sharing or verbalizing, because I got life and death in my tongue. So what does that look like in everyday terms? Regardless of what the situation looks like, I use this principle. The Bible shares, take no thought saying. So even though I have a thought in my head, I don't need to verbalize with my tongue, because typically that thought is not even my thought. That thought has been shot to me by the enemy, because that's not God's promises for my life. So regardless if I have an ache, I don't say I have an ache. By Jesus Christ's stripes, I am healed. That doesn't mean I don't go to the doctor. That doesn't mean. So I might not have the money that I want to have, but I don't go and say and confess that I'm broke. I confess that everything is working out in my favor. I have my every need is met. I had the desires of my heart. So regardless of that, I'm saying what my relationship is in my relationships with my kids or whatnot, what Psalm 112 says, not to get preachy, but also I'm just saying, if things are not looking right in the business, I'm saying I have amazing business. I have the right clients. I'd say an affirmation of this. I'm so grateful and thankful now that I have ideal clients who are investing in my premium products and services, and they are a pleasure to work with. So that's something I'm saying, regardless if I have somebody who's on my tail sending emails 100 miles an hour, it's a pain. Right. I'm saying those things. So
yeah, can I tell you what I just heard you to give me?
Go ahead.
I just heard you give me your definition of resilience.
Yes. That's mine.
That your ability to say, in the midst of being punched,
that's it.
I will speak something different.
That's it.
I will think something different.
Exactly.
I will have a proverbial North Star.
That's right.
That I go back to, regardless of my circumstance.
There you go.
I will make sure that there is something that I am viewing, and that is your superpower.
Exactly. In your day of contradiction, don't change your confession. You don't change it. Doesn't matter what's happening. So your thoughts, your tongue, your temperament. You don't go and knock out everything, slamming stuff, or you control your temperament, your body, how you structure yourself, how you stand up, put something on, walk around to make you feel confident, regardless of what's going on. Don't sit around there just laying in the dark with bad clothes. Your temperament, how you carry yourself, your posture. So your temperament, then also your team. Who's a team of people? Like I got individuals like yourself that I can call on, that I can be totally transparent. I can be Adam in the Garden of Eden. I can be in that place where, hey, I don't have to come with ego. I can lay the CEO title on. I can lay dad alone. I can just be Darren. No judgment. It's not going anywhere. I don't have nobody posting stories. Oh, guess what Darren just told me? That's not happening. You got somebody who's actually sincerely. So your team is important for you. Yeah. And then also the last thing is your treasure. How are you leveraging your treasure? Or, are you using it to be able to advance? Are you using it to grow your business? Or are you using it to pour into yourself? Or can you go, buy a blonde roast from Starbucks or get you a brew? But then if it's time to invest in a book or invest in the right video content or office space, now all of a sudden you think that's a cost instead of an investment. So how we utilize our treasure too is some of the areas that I look at when I look at resilience of how I recalibrate. Was that investing in the right system? If there's something that I need to do, how am I handling those areas? So my thoughts, my tongue, my temperament, my team, and how I'm leveraging my treasure is how I find my way to be resilient. Because how do you invest into another staff member if it didn't work the last time? Just like somebody in a hurt relationship. Yeah. Well, this is my reality right now. How do I choose to be resilient, to speak life, even though I feel cruddy? I don't want to do it. I don't like doing this. This is not the day. That's right. I don't want to adult today. Yeah. That type of vibe. Life be lifing. Life be lifing. So those are areas, man, that I'd say would be helpful for people, man.
What is something about you that you know to be true, but you feel like often gets missed by others, that you wished was recognized more often? And I'll let you sit in it for a second, so you don't have to give me a something about you that you know deep down is true, that you feel like can get missed often by others, but you wished was recognized more often.
The work to, like scripture, to labor to stay in this place of rest. I think because I'm a positive person, I'm an optimist, but I think people don't really understand. They just think that I'm happy all the time. They think that I don't have to face life. They think that I don't have trials and tribulations because I'm the person that's typically always pouring out. So people are shocked if they catch if I just have a stern face. I might just be thinking about something.
Sure.
They're so used to me smiling, and I was like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like, well, you know. Yeah. So if you're not careful, they don't know the work of those things that I just shared, of what it takes for me to overcome doubt, to not get into depression, to not get into I don't know what the hell I'm going to do about this. You're just like, oh, you just don't have any fear of anything. Yeah, man, I have it. I have to work this process that I'm just sharing with you and whatnot. That's my regimen.
Yeah.
But I think that can get confused.
Sure.
And it's like with Michael Jordan, something like, I'm not saying Michael Jordan, but I'm just saying that, I think I made it look too easy. So some of the things that I go through, people feel like it's a cop out. Oh man, Darren just always positive. It's just Darren. So but they're not knowing what I'm facing when I'm on that stage, when I'm showing up in that meeting. They don't know what hell I might be going through with my marriage. Right. They might not know how I might have felt like I failed as a father that day. They might not know the loss. It might not know that, man, I'm starting all the way over, man, and I just had to get capital and scratch this, man. They don't know that I might have debt that I need to take care of, and I got to face it, and I still got to show up, because guess what? Great marketing is not talking about all your problems and trials that you're going through, but you still got to show up. Yeah, and you don't need to bog people down. And unfortunately, it's a system that works that you can actually attract or repel opportunities.
Sure.
So if you don't work this, you're getting more and more of what you don't want. And then by the time people actually see what happened, you're able to be on stage and share the story. Like, oh, I didn't know you was going through that at that time. Right. I didn't know, because you work in the process. So that's it.
To not take away any of the truth or authenticity about who you are. To not remove any of the, I'm going to call it, to not remove any of like the eternal optimism that you've been given. To not remove, because again, we sort of gave, all of those are working mechanisms of what we defined as resilient, right? But resiliency only comes in the face of hardship. So we can't say that we are resilient without facing hard things.
That's it.
But we also can't say that we're an optimist without also having good things. Yep. So now we're sort of in a proverbial conundrum with the rest of the world looking in, and then to lead that to me going, okay, what do you feel like if something gets missed? Well, what gets missed is that people forget that you're a human.
Exactly.
So how can you, we'll figure out the right question here. How do you maintain, how can we make sure that you maintain the integrity of the eternal optimism without it like neglecting the reality of today's human? Because I feel like there's a thread currently that I feel you're really, really close to unlocking, but we're not quite there. Because how do can we sit presently? Can you sit presently with resilience, with optimism, with the allowing what we do, the deep conviction about who we are to not be challenged or changed, and when life is lifing, very eloquently and potentially even optimistically communicate what is really going on today, and that doesn't have to wash away the thoughts, the feelings, and the truth about what it is. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so I think if we know what the superpower is, we were able to discover that. We see that, hey, the thing that gets missed is that I'm a human being, and I'm not perfect or happy or flawless.
Exactly.
So then ideally, we'd want to find the leadership capacity to like hold the tension of both of those simultaneously. Yep. How do we do that?
You do that going back. I believe it goes back to the team again. For one, I believe it's what you believe in, because you're not going to be able to do that by yourself. Like, you're going to fold. That's what you see. That's why this mental health epidemic is going on, because you got people who are trying to get away from a foundation. You can read all the self-help books in the world. You can do your chi, your hot yoga, you know what I'm saying? You can do all these things. You go to masterminds. You can have a hot chick, a hot guy, whatever you're into. You can drink, you can smoke. You cannot do that. You could go run 10Ks all day and do Ironmans, but at the end of the day, when you're sitting up with your own thoughts and yourself, if you do not have a foundation, whatever that is for you, mine just happen to be God. If you don't have something, what would the rest of the world will see? Whatever has happened internally is going to be shown externally. And you got to be okay, because my thoughts and what keeps that together is my faith. And there's no way around it. Because if I didn't have my faith, bro, I would have lost my mind, bro. I would have quit. I was threw in a towel. Like all this resilient stuff is nothing without my faith. And then, like you said, I'm dealing with doubt. I'm dealing with these areas, but I still got to show up.
I love you saying that. One, I appreciate, we always want to work really hard to make sure that no matter who is here, we want to make sure we're creating space for people to be themselves. So exactly. I appreciate you sharing where you were at and what you were thinking and feeling, because there's an audience out there that is going, oh my gosh, finally someone's saying the thing I've been feeling I didn't know I could. And there's somebody else going, hey, you know what? I don't really think how Darren does. I don't necessarily agree with him, but hey, man, I love he's got deep conviction, right? Like again, the beauty of having those things. I think in all of that, one thing that for me, I hear you saying that, I don't know, feels really significant is that your ability to be able to say, if it was left up to me and only me, I'd have been out a long time ago.
Long time ago. White flag raised.
I mean, see ya. That's just, can't do it. Not into it. So I think the ability to continue that is because, and again, you mentioned this, you said, I'm not perfect and I have doubt and it's always interesting. I mean, we do a lot of work around confidence and with what I said. And again, I have a book / ebook about confidence that you published for me actually. So, but I think in that, one thing that I feel like I'm learning in my life is that doubt's not the enemy. That the only thing I've ever discovered in my life that eliminates doubt is certainty. And there's not a lot in my life that I'm certain
that
of.
Part.
I'm talking about like certain.
100% conviction.
So I think 99.9% of the things I think, like, believe, know, love, trust, carry, I'm not certain of. Now, do I have maybe a deep belief about? Do I have a deep conviction about? Do I have a potentially deep faith about?
Yeah.
Yes. But then if the math is going to math.
There you go.
To me, faith, belief, trust, pick the word that each of us want to pick.
Yeah.
Can only exist if doubt exists. They actually can't exist without doubt.
Exactly.
Otherwise, that would lend itself to certainty.
There you go.
And there's not much that at least I can think of that I am certain of. I am curious, going back to our question earlier, if we were going to leave today and there was going to be something that was going to energize Darren to allow him the opportunity to show his human just a little bit more, it was how often can he have a conversation where he shows me, the person he's interacting with, that who he is in his resiliency and his effort and his belief exists because it sits next to doubt.
Absolutely.
Not because doubt is the thing that's crushing the belief.
That's right.
And I think because of whatever the things are in your life, whatever the things are that you're sharing, the season that you're in, the stories that you're with, the people that you're personal, professional, family, business, whatever it is, if you have a desire for people to recognize that in the midst of your optimism, you are in fact human.
Exactly.
Then let the human exist with the eternal.
Okay. Yeah.
Let the full human that is Darren today in this world sit presently with the eternal conviction you have that it is the resiliency when it feels like everybody's throwing punches at me.
That's absolutely.
And one doesn't have to overpower or overshadow. One actually only exists because the other one does.
That's it. It's like faith and fear. It's and then also, and I know a lot of people don't want to deal with this because it leads to responsibility and accountability for themselves in a world where we want to push it on everybody else. 5 components of the soul: your mind, your will, your emotions, your imagination, and your intellect. We're tripart beings. So now, with that being said, your mind, your will, your emotion, your imagination, and your intellect, the thing that we have is free will. And that's something that we don't really want to talk about. Because I want to blame it on the devil. I want to blame it on God. I want to blame it on the government. I want to blame it on my parents. I want to blame it on the community. I want to blame it on lack of education, too much education, privilege, non-privilege. But what we all have as human beings is free will. And I can choose fear, or I could choose faith, and not fight or flight fear, because we need that. If a lion coming after you, you need to be able to
get on out.
But just because I chose to watch a bunch of reels, and I chose to have an algorithm that make me depressed because of what's happening in Israel and Iran, that's a choice for me to look at that, or I could put my thoughts somewhere else. So I'm creating my world. I am a version of my Father. So I create. And a lot of times we don't want to look at that we are creating algorithms that are actually against us and creating doubt. We're building prisons mentally and spiritually that are hindering us from being what we need to be. So I can dictate and use all that area. So it's okay to have doubt in your head, just don't allow for it to get into your heart. And they can coexist together.
Well, and I think that coexistence is the thing we're talking about. Then if the doubt that's in your head is the part that makes you human.
Exactly.
But your conviction that you have in your heart is what makes you Darren.
Exactly.
You follow me?
Exactly.
So if that's the case, then I would say we have to be willing and readily communicating about the fear that exists in our head.
Exactly.
Because to me, that's your greatest invitation.
Exactly.
Like if I could leave here today saying, this is the greatest invitation I think I could give you to go out and that could increase your connections, whatever the result is. I don't know what your results you want, whatever those results are. Invite people in more often to the doubt that exists in your head so that the result of that will be the belief that you have in your heart. Because I think then you sort of become the conduit to closing that gap for other people. Why do people trust you right now? And I'm sort of making some broad generalizations. People trust you right now because of that, what I just got. Because of the smile, because of the perspective, because of the, hey, even when life is lifing, my God, I still show up. And I agree with that. I don't ever want to get rid of that. And I think there's a whole other group of people that want to know and believe that the doubt it does exist in Darren's head.
Oh yeah.
And that sometimes Darren will let me sit with him in that doubt. Where we can both have a neutral expression for a season. But because I'm with Darren and I'm on Darren's team, I know where we're going next. And so I think there's if the gate's been open, for easy math, if the gate's been open 50% this whole time, and look how incredible it's been. If we slid the gate open the other 50%, how much greater is the opportunity of attraction, personally and professionally? Because people realize there is actually 2 steps that come before really believe. The 2 steps before I really believe are, I'm not sure and I don't know.
Exactly. Totally there. And I think that you bring up a great point. And I think that's something that has been good, is because with all the stuff that has happened, by the way, like I said, I don't have it all together with everything or whatnot. I have a lot of amazing people that I learned from, like yourself and others. But you are right. So let me just give this, because I know this is a bite size. So people over the years have been able to connect with me, because you hear the Southern drawl like Tim McGraw. Like, how in the world is this guy having one of the top publishing companies? And you know what I'm saying? You can tell if I do a post to the team that doesn't post, because I might have a word messed up, the whole 9. But I'm okay with that. But going into rooms, whether I'm in New York or other places, and having a publishing company where most of the people are 55 and older, white Anglo-Saxon Protestant, or they're in New York, or they're in the LA. Or if they are of African-American descent, they typically different sexual orientation, not knocking at that, do what you do, or they are a woman, a Black woman, if it is that. So coming in for me, being a full-fledged, warm-blooded American male, like I just got off a football field, talking shit and swallowing spit, showing like, who the hell is this? And talking about publishing. Bro, there was a lot of doubt because because who I am is totally against the mold of the industry standard. So that was, even with me getting into having a financial agency or whatnot and, getting insurance, that's a rebuilding. That's doubt. Because like, bro, you've been known for publishing all these years. Now you starting another business.
Who do you think you are now?
Who do you think you are to go start this business? Now you're talking about something. But every area was something that most people didn't really want to talk about. I thought that was boring. So it wasn't sexy to do books at the time. That wasn't sexy at all. No. Like, bro, like you say, you get beat up for reading back in the day in the areas I grew up. So now obviously you're talking about books, but it was able to be made live. So it's the same thing with us with, helping people protect their funds and be able to make money or whatnot and things like that. Is sharing with them a perspective. I know this is seeming taboo, but these are benefits of why you are alive that typically the middle class America, Black and brown community had never heard of. And unfortunately, a lot of history hasn't been shared because when a lot of the rest of America was at their worst during the Great Depression, especially, Black America at that time was at their best. They were creators of that industry. But a lot of people don't know history. So history repeats itself. So if you don't know, a lot of wealth was made, even through Jim Crow and everything else. And so it shows there's no limitation. So I'm bringing all that back to say, Darren is somebody who came out of a situation with a teenage mom, 16, 15, had a brother when she graduated. We say my brother graduated 2 times. My brother's a vice chancellor at Dallas College now. I've been able to have a publishing company. The financial industry that I'm in right now, the information that I learned when I just thought I was the publisher of a gentleman who's a titan in that industry, actually allowed for my mom to be able to retire. I didn't know that. I knew about real estate, crypto, business, all that, but I didn't know how to leverage insurance and other financial instruments that the Rockefellers used to be able to benefit my own family. To see my mom in tears because she was able to know that she's going to be able to retire and keep her home, even though she had made great decisions like a lot of middle class of America worked her tail off to raise their kids, just still find themselves behind the 8 ball. And unfortunately, they're figuring it out when they're 65 and 70 years old, while you see so many people greeting at Walmart, not knocking Walmart. Or you see somebody retire in an independent school district and you're looking at like, well, wow, Miss Johnson just retired. We had a party in a teacher's hall, a teacher's lounge. Why is she back substituting already? This hadn't even been 6 months. Because we're not really to have those candid conversations. Because we all want to dress up and act like we all got it together. And we're typically, all right, I got my pension, I got my 401k. Nobody can't tell me nothing. I'm good. I'm going on my little cruises. I'm getting this for my grandkids, or I'm doing this. And everybody online, I don't know if you knew this, Rocky. I know this is breaking news, but everybody online is rich and wealthy and nobody has issues. When the real truth is that most people in between their 30s and 40s don't even have $1,000 saved. Most people who are at retirement age don't even have over $200,000 that they're going to be. How are you going to live? And we're living longer. The average woman is living to 82 years old or whatnot. People are living longer. And so regardless of what's happening, and price of goods and inflation, which are 2 different things, are going. So that doubt in my head is something that I have to face every day because I don't want to make sure that that's not a reality for me or my family, or I want to help other people. So the part about Darren that other people get is why I have to make sure that I do show up, is because that is what I'm passionate about. The more people that I'm able to help not face that issue. So yeah, I might seem like a prick, or it might seem like I'm sharing this, or it might seem like tough. But at the same time, the reason that doubt and people understand this is that they know that I care. So I care about having your story out because I know it's going to impact the world. I've seen when stories been shared where a gentleman shared a book, and then I'm watching his kid that's about 8 years old walk up with 2 pieces of paper, and he's saying, here, this is my book. I'm going to be an author like you, Dad. I'm watching a guy who had a crack addiction. I'm seeing him not even have a relationship. They was told that he was a friend of the family, whatnot. Never knew his daughter, but he published a book, and now all of a sudden that allowed, and he's a truck driver now, been clean, been able to live a life and prospering in his life the best of his ability. And it brought his daughter back to him. And now he's spending time with his daughter, who's an adult now, bridging the gap between him and that relationship. And he's able to spend time with his granddaughter. So when I see these stories and I see lives transform, people see with the doubt when they see with me is that they understand this is somebody who doesn't have it all figured out. I shared a situation with you that I talked how I was looking at my child and how I was even upset at my kids because I got a father, biological father, whatnot, and he's great. But I also felt like my dad didn't show up in ways that I wanted my dad to show up. And I actually resented my kids somewhat because I was there at every game. I was there driving, even if I had a broken relationship with the mom. I didn't allow, if their mom didn't travel, would not for me to go visit them or go get them. I would drive the whole way, whether it was hours away. I didn't allow, this is going on. I changed my schedule. That's one reason I fight for entrepreneurship, because it allowed for me to leverage, even when I wasn't making money and things like that, to go and see them and sit with them and be there. But I caught myself resenting my children because I was like, they don't really appreciate this, because it was that little boy, Darren, that was like, my dad didn't show up. My mom showed up, but my dad didn't show up for me. What I would have gave to have my dad at a football game, what I would have gave to have my dad at a track meet, what I would have gave to have my dad at for my dad to show up in certain capacities. And now I'm showing up. I don't really think that y'all are appreciative of what it takes for me to be a father. And then I had to have a realization. One of my kids let me know, it's like, well, Dad, you've always been there. Then I realized I was actually resenting my kids in that area of a normacy that I had created. So I can't hold them liable for my childhood.
Sure.
But I had to realize that. I had to grow into that. And I'm transparent with people with that. And that's how I'm able to work with people, because they know that, hey, man, you're going to doubt yourself. You don't know how it's going to work out. You know, I got situations in a relationship that I'm in right now, just being totally transparent. But guess what? My kids still need me to show up. And that's why I like for people to understand. I think we can get so caught up in our feelings that feelings have become God. Feelings are a KPI. They are a key performance indicator. And in our lives, it lets us know, you know what? I've been looking at a little too much TV right now. I'm feeling depressed. Could it be? Or you know what? I got indigestion. Could it be for me to have a KPI to see, what did I eat today? I know I can't have too much of hot sauce, or when I lose that hot sauce, my blood pressure is up. So I think we have to actually restructure and realize that feelings are needed. They are instrumental in our lives, but they are not God. I dictate and I tell my flesh what to do. My flesh doesn't tell me what to do. Now, because I cry, do that make me less? No, I'm going to cry. You know, you see me, I'm crying. Man, if you see me, I'm crying. I'll be crying out there. I see stuff going on. I was like, man, because I'm excited about life, or I'm going through something. Or I'm not going to be too prideful to come and tell you, like, Rocky, I need you to pray for me, bro. Like, I'm going through something. And I think that doesn't mean that you're less than a man, less than a person, and that just means that you're human.
Sure.
But it's like, hey, feel your emotions, but don't allow your emotions to dictate your destiny. Because if I play Today Was a Good Day by Ice Cube, you feel one way. If I feel Happy by Pharrell, you feel one way. But if I play something with Guns N' Roses that's drowning you out, you're ready to go get a whiskey and everything and smoke a cigarette and feel depressed. So we got to know that we have control. That's how we've been wired with words, images, and emotions. So I think that's what I would want to leave the audience with, is that all those things make us human. I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to make. I don't know what the next move going to be. I don't want to even deal with this client. I don't want to deal with this email today. I might not even want to deal with my spouse today. But at the same time, our spouse needs us. Our children needs us. You don't feel like being a father every day. No. You don't feel like doing the stuff that you don't. Then also these adult parents that we got. So now you're dealing with, in the age group we're in, that you're not only dealing with your kids and your spouse, you got to deal with your parents at this age of life.
I literally got a text message on Sunday. It was Father's Day. And I got a text message from my grandmother, who raised me the majority of my life. And she said to me, "Happy Father's Day. I can't believe how old you are. And I can't believe how proud I am of you.
Wow.
And now that you're a dad to me."
Wow.
And I think, to your point of this feeling of this weight, right? Of like, yeah, but I have a 9 and a 6-year-old.
There you go.
And I have a wife, and I have a community, and I have 7 people on YouTube who watch our podcast. And I have, like whatever those, and I have a grandmother who spent her whole life dedicated making sure our collective family was okay and raised me. And she now is saying, "I'm glad that you're my dad." So I think in all that, to your point, my encouragement for you would be, as often as you can remind yourself, show us you're human.
I got you.
Everything else is an innate, natural piece of who you are. You don't have to be afraid that I'm not going to see the good. You don't have to be afraid that I'm not going to see the positivity, the optimism. That is something that you have been given and that you wear as wonderfully as you wear that jacket. It is with you everywhere you go. I believe the next phase in your life development growth is every place that you are willing to show you're human is a place that you build a connection that you couldn't have had 10 years ago, whatever that is like.
I receive that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah. I would encourage you to do that because I think your capacity for eloquence and your capacity for charisma and your capacity to draw me in with narrative and story. There's 2 extra steps to the story that we could go if I could see how your story today allows me to know that my story is okay.
I got it.
You follow me?
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah.
I receive that, bro.
I appreciate you, sir.
Yeah. Content creators, get ready,
I appreciate you. If you, like Darren, find yourself saying, man, there is something about my human that I want to be able to see. I want to be able to know. I want to be able to find a deeper way to see, to know, to express. I would encourage you, go to rockygarza.com/confidence. It is not a place where you're going to find 3 easy steps, the easy answer, because life, as my friend says, life be lifing. But there is a way for you to discover who are you as a human being. How do you take your KPIs as opposed to them being related to your performance, but align those with your purpose and who you are as a human being? And we would love to see you there. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for listening to this week's podcast. Don't forget to join us this month for our leadership training. You can register you and your team at rockygarza.com/confidence.